You're now listening to the Zod and Drea podcast.
We're back.
Hey, what's up, people? We are here. Oh, man. Look, excuse me already because my throat has been sounding crazy all week, so I'm not going to do as much talking as Drea this episode. I know you're happy about that.
No, stop. No.
I know they're happy. Yes, they are.
No, they're not.
They're cheering.
No,
I
there's
hear
no
them.
crowds cheering.
I
No.
hear. No, you don't hear them.
See, now all of a sudden I got a little
See,
tickle
now
in my
you're
throat.
coughing. Now
Oh,
you're,
great. Now I
you're
got
coughing.
sympathy
Hey,
pain.
you want some of this Fresca? Hey, you want some Fresca?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
Yeah,
take a
actually,
sip.
you know what? I do want
Go ahead,
some.
take a little
It's pretty
swig of that.
refreshing.
There you go. Take a swig. Yummy. All right, there we
Pretty
go.
refreshing.
All right, we are back. Zod and Dre is back here to entertain you once again for another podcast session. Hey, just to let you know, number 42, I just found out, had not been posted on our website or on our social media pages. So if you thought that we did not have a podcast, we actually did, but you would have known we did if you had subscribed to our podcast. So number 42 was there. I just posted it before this podcast, so make sure you listen to that one in case you hadn't.
But lesson learned is, hey, become a subscriber.
That's it.
So this way you can get some of the stuff
will-
ahead of time before
right?
everybody else.
I swear, you'll never miss an episode.
So we got some cool stuff to talk about today.
All right, let's talk about the cool stuff.
Cool stuff.
First off, the TV review. There was a nice little series you saw on Netflix that you really liked.
I was fascinated with this series. So it's a spin from the Hot Girls Wanted documentary that was done, and what they decided to do was make 6 series of them, and it's called Hot Girls Wanted Turned On. I can't wait to talk about that.
All right. So it's on Netflix, but we're going to talk about that. And then we also have on our off topic about your boy Trump rolling back on Michelle Obama's school lunch program. This guy's obviously trying to erase the Obama legacy, but we're going to talk about what is the benefit of him making kids unhealthy.
Oh, this administration. Every day.
Every day it's something new. It's like, you know what? That's making America great again is by making America fat again. So that's awesome.
Awesome. And the main topic for today.
Yeah, the main topic today is what do women see is the benefit of dating younger men? This was influenced by a post I had seen of a friend of mine on Facebook, and I just wanted to talk about it. I thought it was a really interesting topic.
So let's get started.
All right, let's get started. If you want, we can talk about your little TV review on Netflix, which is the Hot Girls Wanted. So what do you say about that?
I say this fine. Let's get started on my little TV review here.
Yep.
So this, again, for those that haven't seen the original documentary, it was produced by Jill Bauer, Rana Gradus, and Rashida Jones, who, if you guys are a fan of Parks and Rec, she was on that show. These women got together because they wanted to really find out about women that were part of the sex industry and how the changes that have gone on in the sex industry in the past 10 years, of course, because of the internet. So they got a lot of traction from that documentary they made in 2015. I thought it was really fascinating. So got to see how it's impacting some of the people that are players in the industry and how it's affecting society. So because of all of that interest that they got from it, they decided to do a 6-series follow-up show. But what was cool about these series is that every episode was on a different spin of how the intersection of pornography, the internet, sexuality, and dating all come across in just modern society right now. So one of the first series that they talked about and spotlighted was porn for women. And
Oh yeah, you were really hyped up about
I was hyped up because what they did was they followed 2 women. One woman that was a pornography director and creator in LA. And she came from a family where her mother was one of the first Playboy photographers. And so she was already used to the environment of what pornography and really what that art can be like. And this director, she on her shows, her movies, are very much into fantasy, into bringing out women's fantasies. But what's happening now because of the internet and the oh God, what's the phrase? The rough porn.
Oh yeah, it's like, I mean, there's just like kink.com, like that rough, pretty much the way the porn is controlled by men. It's just there's no not there's romance in porn, but there's no fantasy of romance.
There's no fantasy, and there's really not like sex. It's just penetration. It's just rough.
It's just focus, yeah.
And so they spotlighted what she's trying to still make and still be relevant in the industry. And then they went to Spain and met with Erica Lust. This chick is awesome. Erica Lust, because of her same view of where is pornography for women, where is the beauty, where is the interesting stories, because women, again, we want to be attracted and are attracted to sex in a different way than men, plain and simple. So what she and her partner decided to do was make their own movies. And again, being in Europe, she has all this access to just beautiful settings, costumes, different actors that are non-part of the industry, and she's making it her own, owning it. And she even went on a TED Talk series and talked about how you own, as women, let's own our own pornography, really. Own our own entertainment for this and not be dictated by the dicks that are out there that think what is sexy is filming a woman's head being shoved in a toilet while she's being screwed from behind. That's gross. That's awful.
I never understood that type of porn, and there's a lot of it out there. But I think that it's the sadist in a lot of people who just have that. I don't know if they don't have any control over their lives. I don't know what the what the mental breakdown is or something like that. But they remove all facets of anything that's intimate, and they insert instead something that's more violent.
Violent, that's it. It's the violent porn. And so they're pretty much making a stand on against that. Also part of the series, you talk about dating, how online dating and all these social apps make it so difficult now for relationships to get revolved and evolve. And we've talked about that in some of our subjects. And then they had another series about cam girls and how a relationship that a cam girl had with her.
Oh, that dude?
Yeah, with this dude. Like for years, she had this relationship, quote unquote, online with this guy.
4 years, yeah.
And they evolved to face, and you get to see how that breaks down. And it is so fascinating and interesting.
Not to mention she's married.
Yeah, and her husband's like, sure, fly out to Australia.
Well, I showed you about her husband, but anyway. Yeah, we'll talk about that later.
So anyways, I highly suggest it is a really great take on what's going on in the evolution of men and women and sexuality.
All right, so that's Hot Girls Wanted, turned on. You can see that on Netflix, and let us know what you think about that. So let's move on to the off topic. Mm-hmm. And that is your boy, your homie.
Gross. Why do you even try to dump this? What is it? Okay, what does my girl Lucy call him? The Cheeto.
Yeah.
Cheeto loving him.
Your boy.
No.
Mr. Homie, Donald Trump, who is rolling back on Michelle Obama's school lunch programs, which was actually having a lot of, believe it or not, it was having a lot of benefits. Like, kids were actually liking the meals that were going on. They were getting used to it, just like any kid who's been eating sugar his whole life and eats vegetables. He doesn't like that shit. But then you give him time where you take away. It's like, this is the only food you're going to get, man. So you can either like it or not. Eventually, he starts liking it. It's like, yo, this is actually pretty good. I know for me, it took a while for me to like at least a certain type of Brussels sprout, or at least how it is cooked.
Oh, true.
I still hate Brussels sprouts, but the way it's cooked, I'm like, okay, you know what? I can kill this. I used to hate cauliflower. I used to hate broccoli.
Really?
Until my mom made it a certain way. And I was like, oh, word? Mm-hmm. This is actually good. I had to change my mind.
Right.
About how food is processed. And yet, here Trump is rolling back Obama's, which was one of her signature pieces of legislation of getting lunches in public schools changed for children to be healthier.
Yeah, and it was all part of her Get Moving
initiative. Her initiative, which she was all like. This is what was so awesome about that administration, especially Michelle Obama, is that she was actually looking out for the kids.
Mm-hmm.
She looked out for the kids a lot. It's like, okay, everybody, the give me 5. It's like, okay, give me 5, whatever, push-ups, whatever you do, but give me 5, work out, change the school lunches. And it was like weird because the conservatives were upset about healthy school lunches. And it's like, okay, your child is going to school for a certain period of time. You feed them breakfast in the morning and they get dinner later on. It's only lunch.
Mm-hmm.
If the school is being funded with government funds, should they not also have a lunch meal program that is reflective upon a growing brain? But no, these people were pissed off because they weren't pizza. Oh, my kid is eating cardboard. I didn't. You know what? Your kid can eat cardboard for lunch, or you can make them a lunch.
Right. My kid's eating chicken. He only eats chicken fingers. No, chicken fingers is not going to keep their brain going when they have to take tests, when they have to grow. It's just, it blows my mind how they want to remove this. And wasn't it announced late last night that the administration said, no, forget, we're not going to completely remove it. We're going to rename it.
That was the other program, not this one. That
Oh.
was something else that was happening. It wasn't her signature, I don't believe. I think it'd been happening before that, but they're just renaming it or something like that.
No, but what disturbs me so much is that this is another attack on kids that do not have influence at all, families that are not influential.
Yeah.
It's attack on the poor.
It is.
It's attack again on the poor, of people of color, and it's all these subtle little movements, subtle little law passages that are trying to keep Americans unhealthy, poor, uneducated. It's just another step, and I'm over it. I'm gonna keep shouting, keep protesting, whatever it is you got to do, but do not do this to the kids. They have no say.
Yeah, that's what it was. So she launched the Let Girls Learn initiative in 2015, and that's what it was. And for whatever reason, they're gonna roll back that, but now they're gonna, I think, rename it, something like that.
Oh, instead of
Let Girls.
I wonder what's going to be renamed to.
I know, Trump Girls
Right.
Learn.
And there's been a few different political followers, if you will, on the different news shows. They brought up a point: is this an act that the administration is doing to be spiteful to Michelle Obama?
Oh, everything Trump has been doing has been to erase the Obama's legacy.
But
everything.
It's so targeted towards her because of what she had stated about him and his policies and pretty much his nature during the campaign. They're saying this sounds like this is a tactic that he does.
Well, considering his wife isn't doing anything.
And will not do anything.
Won't do anything.
Let alone not even live in the White House.
Yeah, so it's like, please, rolling back so that kids don't have healthy lunches, that's pretty low, and it's ridiculous, and it's not going to save any money, so
Please
stop.
listen
Stop
carefully.
it.
Please listen carefully.
All right, people.
We're back.
All right, I got some water. I think I can make it through these 15 minutes.
Yeah, got a little moco run, but that's okay. You'll be fine.
I'm disgusting. But
everything will be just fine.
let's talk about this topic, which is, what do women see is the benefit of dating younger men? Now, this sparked off from a post I had seen a friend of mine make on Facebook, which was really interesting, actually. Because I love her take. Her take is like light and airy and kind of zen. And she didn't bash. She questioned. She's twice divorced. She had dated older men. She always thought older men was it. There's always security in that.
Mm-hmm.
Usually it's older men who are more secure in life, have a financial portfolio, whatever, this and that. Younger men are just figuring it out. But the older men were also, I think, locked in their tradition. It seemed like they were kind of stuck where they were, and there was no more room for growing. Whereas some people, they want that. They want room for growing. They want to be able to experience new things, maybe that they hadn't done. And with her, what had opened up her eyes were just the way that he was not pushy, but he was forward in his advances, but he was also smooth.
Right. He seemed to embrace her.
Yeah.
And all of her her characteristics, her attributes, her successes.
And didn't do it in a demeaning way or anything. And this is a younger guy, so let's say, I don't know how old she is. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's say she's, I don't know, 38. Let's say.
Okay.
And like this guy is 26. Now, obviously, that's a big gap. That's on some, Mrs. Robinson type, Dustin Hoffman type mix. But what was she was on pause. She was like, okay, it's almost like when somebody says something that captures your attention real quick. It's like,
right.
Oh, wait a minute. Let me pay a little bit of attention to this. I'm not going to jump right in both feet, but it got me feeling a little something. And so this topic was born out of that. What is it about dating younger men that women see as a benefit?
And we found a bunch of different articles because it happens to be on trend to what's going on in France.
Yeah.
So you have a presidential candidate, Emmanuel Macron, he and his wife have a 25-year difference.
Yeah, 25 that's a grip.
Yeah. She met him while she was a teacher, right?
Yeah, she was a teacher, yeah.
He was her student. What song is that from The Police? Don't Stand So Close to Me.
Oh, I don't know. Is it?
Yeah, so kind of similar in that sense, but what their relationship has been put in the spotlight too for ever since he started to run, and because of their situation, their age gap. So articles about this same topic have just been popping up recently, and it seems to be a very interesting responses that we've seen about why women are attracted to younger men. And you have a few women that state that, again, like you had said, they don't have to they don't have to conform to somebody else. The younger man wants to be part of their life, is wanting to learn, maybe moldable, if you will, but they're eager and not necessarily, like you said, stuck in their ways.
Yes, I mean, they call it the May-December relationships. I mean, it happens with male, females either way, or male, male. It doesn't matter, female, female. But, like Shape Magazine, they jumped in on the fray, talking about the pros and cons of dating a younger man. So, I mean, let's go through a couple of these.
Yeah.
So they're saying one of the pros for dating a younger man is the sex.
And I've heard this a lot from friends that date younger men.
It's like they say you can't argue with biology. Men reach their sexual prime in their 20s due to a spike in testosterone, while women typically reach theirs in their 30s and 40s. Some even in their 50s.
In their 50s, right.
I mean, I see some women now that I know that I'm like, because they just, like, they're out there. And I see them out there. And I'm like, they're bugging out.
And again, you can't argue with that. That is biology. But I always hear that's like the main reason from the friends that I know that have dated successfully or not successfully, but why they're attracted to younger men is the stamina.
And it's like, and that's exactly it, the stamina. Oh, they can have sex all night and this and that, Meanwhile, the guy in his 30s, 40s or whatever, he might tap out after,
Pop a pill.
20 million, yeah. But he's like, that pill is expensive, man. My heart's racing,
I'm getting a heart attack.
I'm hurting, just for that nut.
Oh, no.
So it's like, a younger guy has that stuff. He just wants to smash all the time. He doesn't care. I mean, come on, man. When I was in my 20s and 30s and whatever shit, it didn't matter where,
What's the next one?
So it's a pro, and he's fun to date.
Fun to date.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it says, sure, you'll have dinners, but you'll also be ready, say, a 10-mile hike one weekend, followed by an indie rock concert the next. Younger men are as adventurous outside of the bedroom as they are inside it. So, these guys, I mean, it's funny because I think of younger dudes sometimes. I just think like college dudes or something like that, getting drunk, whatever. But, hopefully somebody who's lived a little life, got himself a job somewhere and making a little bit of money and he's self-sustained, or at least he's self-sustaining himself, a little bit more of a responsible guy. Maybe he's the type they're looking for. It's like, okay, he can move. His knees aren't like, look at me, my knees are burned out. I'll still do a hike though. I'll still be chilling. But when I'm in my 50s, am I going to be able to
stop? You did 11 half marathons last year.
It
Stop.
doesn't matter. Will I be able to still hold it? Yeah, in 10 years, will I be doing 11? I'm stubborn enough to do it, but when you're trying to compete with somebody who's in their 20s, if it was 20-year-old Zodiac versus 40, almost 44-year-old Zodiac, it's a big gap.
Right.
But you got to keep it all loose and do what you got to do. But it's like what what older women will find in that, and and it cracks me up because older women, their knees be giving out too.
I'm about to say, look, somebody's always going to be older and somebody's going to be younger, so something's going to have to give. So it's fun, the sex. What else do we find in this that it's a commonality of why women date younger men?
They say that there's less baggage, which there is. That's a good one.
Very good, very true.
They said when you enter into a new relationship, it's no secret you're bringing former boyfriends along with you. But a younger guy likely is packing less. Oh, that's what they're talking about.
Ah.
Men have been preconceived notions about women and relationships based on past experiences, says Samantha Daniels. So since he's younger, he has less experiences. Whereas, an older woman, she's probably smashed a bunch in her day, so she's like, okay, this dude's not bringing in all this shit. It sounds kind of selfish to me. It's like, and who knows?
But I know of older men because I've never dated younger men. I've never dated a younger man, but I've dated older men. And it's exactly similar to what they state. Like, oh, you're younger, so you haven't had all of these relationships. Yeah. Oh, we can,
you want to bring tradition into it then?
What?
Traditions.
Oh, my gosh.
Just traditionally, in certain, cultures. Like, let a woman have some baggage and let her have some miles under that.
God forbid she's had sex with any other man and the woman's 40 years old. I mean, come on. Like, come on, get over it. But that's exactly what I would hear then from the older men is like, oh, you haven't had all these kids and you haven't had all this stuff coming around. So this way, I can come in and mold you the way I want to.
I remember guys, they loved virgins. They wanted to be the one to break them in, like they were gonna make them remember. It's like, dude, this is gonna be their first time. You're not gonna be this dude. Like, no. It's gonna hurt. She's not gonna remember you.
She ain't gonna like it. You ain't gonna be this fantastic Fabio machismo man. You're gonna suck at it, and she ain't gonna like it for the first time.
Take her a minute, so stop it. Like one thing when coming up, I never wanted virgins for that reason.
That's just no.
It's like I remember I had this one in college, and I was like, oh, "You're a what?" Like. I almost wish one of my boys broke you in. It's like,
oh God. But you know what? I remember having a friend of mine. She was gonna date because she liked a younger guy, and this guy was 21, and he was a virgin.
Wow. Oh boy, I bet she was like.
Oh, she was, and then she was. But then what she had told me was that after she broke him in, if you will. Yeah. A few months into it, she was like, "I can't." She's like, "He's just too bad." Like she's like, he just doesn't know. She's like, you're really breaking in.
You know what? You bring up a point that's not even on here. But the option that now the woman becomes the teacher.
Yes. And so some women like that.
I wonder if that's attractive to them. Yeah. That's an attraction for dating a younger man. It's like, I have heard that from women before saying, I can teach him.
Yes.
I can. So it's almost like he depends on her to, he's inexperienced and I can show him, how to be a man. I'm like, all right.
That's the power play.
Yep.
That is totally the power play. And some of the articles I was reading about men that prefer to date older women, something very similar. Either that woman reminded them of a teacher that they had.
Oh, yeah.
Mrs.
Robinson.
Yes, I had this crush on a teacher, and she was so, she reminded me of her. My first love was a assistant professor. So all you female teachers out there, you better keep yourself together. I mean, calm down.
Dating-wise, you're only a few years younger than me, but, I'm not going to say numbers, but, all the women that I have been with, from a young tyke of 18, all the way up, they've been older. I've always been attracted to older women ever since.
Isn't that funny?
Biggest gap was, I think, 12 years or something like that, but it's always been like that, even for me. If we put it in reverse, and I mean, my excuse as a guy was almost seeing it through the lenses of a woman, in that I like the experience.
Mm-hmm.
She wasn't like the younger girl. She, I didn't mind wrinkles. It shows that she's a woman. She's grown. She's this. I don't know how the eyes in reverse, being a man who likes younger women. I think it's more of the package deal. Sometimes they just like how they look.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, look at her. Like some of these guys, they'll be like 60 years old, whatever, trying to date like a 24-year-old, and it's like,
yeah, she
dude,
really loves you.
She's gonna destroy you. Like I don't care how many pills you're popping, you're not gonna keep up.
She really is there for your mind.
Like
yeah.
It's like, let's be real. You better have like a younger dude that you have on the payroll that can satisfy her, because it's not gonna be you.
And be okay with that.
You better be okay with it. That yeah, she's the one in your arm and gives you something, but come on, in reverse. I also like to think about, although women may date someone younger, do they ever feel that they are taking something away from him?
That's a good question.
Like we have been through this. So let's say there is a 25 or 12 or whatever year difference. What they experienced, I already have, more or less. So am I taking now that away from you? And then what sometimes people do is they get frustrated in that relationship, that May December relationship. Like, God, why don't you understand? Like, because 12 years ago you didn't understand.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't get mad at him for doing the same thing or her for doing the same thing.
I have had actually, you do bring up something though, that I've had friends that have told me that they've broken up with maybe the younger guy that they were with because that guy wanted children and the woman couldn't.
All right.
Oh, was it one of the topics?
You know what? Let's keep going, because we only got a couple minutes, but we're gonna bring this up real quick. Quick. One of the cons that they say are, in fact, I'll bring this one up. One of the cons they say is biology. Your biological clock is taken away. Meanwhile, his might not even be turned on. Women in their mid-20s and early 30s are primed for baby making, but younger men don't have the dad gene in them until they're more established and mature.
Right.
So go ahead, continue.
And so that's one reason that I've known that they've broken up, or the woman has decided to end it, because same thing like you said, in that sense of taking something away, taking that opportunity away for maybe that guy to have a child down the road, because she doesn't want to, because maybe she's had a few kids already.
She's been married.
And this guy wants to have kids and have something with her because he loves her, right? And she's had to end it because it's like, no, I care for him so much and I know he should experience that, but I'm not the one that can give him that experience. And I've seen that being really hard for some of my friends to have to deal with.
But I mean, for them to break up because of that is selfless. For real, that's a selfless thing. Some people will force it. Like, okay, yeah, sure, I've had 2 husbands, and yeah, I have 3 kids. But you, who has had neither a marriage or any kids, you should be dating me. Because
and be on lockdown.
Yeah, and be on lockdown, and you should just be okay with it. And I'm sorry, I don't want any more kids, but you should be cool with just being with me
and raising my kids.
Flock out of here. Another con they have is he's scared of commitment.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't force anything on somebody. You can't.
And it's to say it runs in the same lines. It's like this guy, he hasn't had that experience, but he's going to commit to you, who has a full family. Like you have 2 sets of in-laws.
There's all this talking about baggage. I mean, there's a lot of baggage.
It's like, do people think about what's going to happen after that? You got your in-laws. He's like, what's an in-law? It's like, no, dude, you're in for a wild ride.
Right. And in fact, would you have dated him if he had all that too? So, think about it if she was on the other foot.
But, let's talk about this later. This is a good one, though, this May December. So we're going to have to talk about the male version of dating younger women at some point in the future, too, because I think that's going to be interesting and a different perspective.
Definitely.
Well, people.
Hope you liked it.
We did it again.
You made Decembers out there. Tell us what you think.
Yep, let us know. Visit us on ZodandDrea.com, and also, obviously, at ZodandDrea on all of the social networks, because you can find us everywhere.
and talk to us about if you've seen the series that we talked about, Girls Wanted Turned On. Oh, Hot Girls Wanted Turned On.
Right.
And also about what is your take and what do you think about these school lunch programs and really much like the school nutrition programs being cut now in this current administration.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, they're destroying the country. The supporters don't care. They think that bringing greasy foods back for school children is an awesome thing instead of taking care of their kids at home. So, talk to us about that. But otherwise, we're going to have to catch you on the rebound. And if you're in a May-December relationship, let us know what your thoughts are.
Yeah.
So give us comments.
Maybe
right?
be a guest.
Yeah, you never know. All right,
Bye.